On to this now. Amcu is threatening to take Minerals and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe to court. That's to force him to protect miners as they return to work. Now, mines have been allowed to resume operations at 50% capacity during this lockdown. Amcu President Joseph Mathunjwa wants Mantashe to agree to binding regulations that protects workers against COVID-19. And Joseph Mathunjwa joins us now via Skype from Mpumalanga. Mr. Mathunjwa, thank you very much for your time. I want to start off with the question that says, what do your members on the ground say about returning to work? Do they want to go back, or are they worried about their safety at the moment?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers, Mr. Mkami. Yes, workers or members of Amcu in particular, they are very worried about their safety since they are watching this coronavirus, what is doing to the nation and in the whole world. And especially them as they are working in a confined spaces, and they are quite very worried. It's not to say they don't want to return to work. They do want to return to work, because you remember that there were some changes in terms of regulation. It became law. So therefore, they cannot see themselves not abiding with the law. But however, the main concern is the safety.
Mr. Mathunjwa, the Director Generals of the Department of the Mines, that's Thabo Mokoena, he has laid down the law to mining companies and said if they do not comply, particularly with the safety requirements, then they will certainly face consequences. Do you not believe him when he says that?
We don't believe that. You'll remember that we've made submissions to the Department of Labor, to the Department of Mineral and Energy, of which we were calling for them to set up a national task team that will comprise with the Chief Inspector, Chamber of Mine, trade unions, which are registered, and in particular the Department of Health, of which is under Honorable Mr. Mkhize, to develop a code of practice that will be, will give direction to the mining sector and to the energy, of which, unfortunately, the DMRE never wanted to listen to us. Hence, we are going to court to force them. Actually, it was we were approaching court on an agent basis. Then you'll remember that the COGTA minister had some changes in the regulations, of which it's clear that the DMRE, Mr. Mantashe, Honorable Mantashe, did read our letters, because some of our points they did put, especially they removed the word essentially. And they then with this 50%, then they say mining, then it's becoming law. Hence, our case is no longer agent, of which was supposed to sit today. We remove it from the agent on agent basis, not to congest the court. But there are another case that is sitting at 2 o'clock, because we had two cases to protect our members and the workers in general. Because these laws, if the court rule in our favor, it won't even favor Amcu members. It will favor the whole working class, in particular in the mining sector and energy. So therefore, there is another case whereby we force the DMRE to regulate and gazette the minimum standard of health and safety. If they are saying the DMRE, they put the law, they can't put the law, because, at the end of the day, the very same Mine Health and Safety Act, they cannot monitor, they cannot hold these companies accountable when they kill workers.
All right.
Like, for instance, in Rustenburg, they've got only 20 inspectors for different sectors. So how are they going to monitor? So we are very happy that the Department of Health and the Department of Police, Minister Honorable Gwede and Minister Honorable Mkhize, never opposed our application. It's only DMR and the Chamber of Mine, of which we know Chamber of Mine from 1886. He never liked
Mr. Mathunjwa, let me just interrupt you there for a second in the interest of time, and I'd like you to be very brief for me when you answer this particular question. Some people out there are saying that this whole exercise with this extended lockdown, it's going to be a fine balancing act, trying to reopen certain sectors of the economy whilst at the same time taking safety precautions. Now, you are asking of mining bosses to go into a summit in order to discuss these. I want to know from you what the response has been from the mining bosses that you have written to, calling for a summit on safety, but also add to that, that if you're going to ask for mining bosses not to reopen due to safety concerns, are you also at the same time, as a union, taking what people would say is empathy on your side to try and not take money from workers in as far as the subscriptions are concerned at this time?
Yeah, I think that is mediocre at the end of the day. The first point, I've written to these bosses on the 5th of March, requesting the very same coronavirus. It's the only trade union who was very proactive to discuss if ever this coronavirus will come to our shores or have an impact at the workplace. None of these executives, these bosses, responded to that letter. Secondly, Amcu is not saying the mine shouldn't open. The Amcu saying there must be a safety, guaranteed safety minimum standard, each and every mine. So I don't know the issue of subscription where it comes up, because always when Amcu brings something progressive, then they want to vilify Amcu as if we are just an organization that is interested in mine. Show me any trade union this morning that has applied to the court to protect its members. Show me any. Even any federation in this country. It's only Amcu who's pro-worker, who's pro-working class. Always when Amcu comes with something progressive that tries to change the status quo or of this bourgeoisie, of this capitalist, always Amcu must be lambasted with money as if we created Amcu for self-enrichment. Come on, people. Wake up from your slumber.
All right. Mr. Mathunjwa, thank you very much for your time joining us.